Good evening and welcome to reSurgence Television. I'm Diane Wesley Smith and I'm your host. reSurgence Television is a socially responsible television network, and it was created because we care about people and the quality of their lives. In the spirit of change, progress, and hope, we are televised live the second and fourth Thursdays of every month, starting at 7 o'clock. We're on Comcast Channel 76 and 29. We're on AT&T 99 and Astound 30. Tonight's telecast will be a commentary by yours truly. And that will be the segment. Normally we have a guest on our show, but you know, there's so much that needs to be said. There's so much change in the air. There's a lot of hope in the air. And I thought we'd get started just kind of like one-on-one and start talking about some of the things that are in the air, so to speak, or what's going on. And today, or tonight, we're going to talk about economic development, and we're going to talk about healthcare reform. How many of you out there know exactly what President Obama's healthcare reform plan is? I'm sure a lot of you watched his speech last night, and we'll talk about that in a moment, further in the show actually. But first, I'd like to say, please get a pencil and paper, because as you know, we always like to cover news and issues that are of benefit to you. And so we want you to have a pen and paper, so if you hear something that you can use, or that some information that someone else can use, you can jot it down right then, not go, oh, let me go run and get a piece of paper. So with that being said, also whenever you call someone and you're requesting information, have your pencil and paper ready, because ready is as ready does. Now remember, it's all about you. Everything that I do, everything that our television program, reSurgence Television, does is aimed at helping you, being responsive to your needs, and empowering you. Because you deserve respect, opportunities, jobs, and economic development. Just like anyone else. I don't care where you are. Some of you are getting your respect, your economic development, your employment is fine, but many others are not. And that's what we want to talk about tonight. We need a level playing field. A level playing field means, for example, let's take a small company like DWS BVHP Real Estate, and let's take Coldwell Banker. Now, and DWS BVHP Real Estate is a small community company. Coldwell Banker is this huge company. Can that little company fight that big company evenly and fairly? No. Why? Because one has more tools, more resources, more money than the other. Coldwell is big, DWS is small. How do you create a level playing field under those types of conditions? Well, what you do is you take the resources from the ones that have some of the resources and you share it with the ones that don't have. And let me clarify what I mean exactly about economic development, because economic development cannot happen without a level playing field, and the way a level playing field is created is by equalizing the resources. So, for example, let me give you another example. There's a company called Lennar. DWS BVHP Real Estate is my company. Lennar is big, my company is small. Or let's take Bayview Property Managers, okay? That's another real estate company in the Bayview Hunters Point community of District 10. Now, Lennar has so many resources, and there's no way that a small company like Bayview Bayview Property Managers can compete without some assistance. So no, it's not subsidy, but in order to create a level playing field, we call that exchanging or sharing resources. Let's use sharing resources, because the least of us should be helped by those of us that have the most. Sounds fair enough? let's talk about economic development. Okay, economic and job development opportunities in your community that are available to you means that you are in the throes or experiencing economic development in your community. Let me give you some examples of non-economic development. People are working in your neighborhood. They're coming and going. They're making money. And you have the same kind of skill sets. You go down there and you apply for a job. You live in the community. You live in the district, or you live in the city, or you live in the area, and you say, I can do that. These are my skills. Here's my resume. But because of one reason or another, you're not allowed an opportunity to work in your own community. Now, where would you have the best chance of securing employment or economic development? In your own community or somewhere where no one knows you? I'm not going to be Perry Mason and rest my case, but I rest my case. Somewhat. Okay, people are working all around you. They're making money. They're leaving. And it's kind of like, you know what it's like? It's like they're driving out of your community or your city or your state with their money in their pockets. To bring it on home and make it real specific, they're leaving your area where you saw them making money, and they're going home with your money in their pockets because you possess the same skills. Also, you should have hiring priority. If they're going to do if some construction is going to happen next door to me or in my community, I'm going to hire someone from my community first as a business owner. That is one of the reasons that President Obama is pushing the economic stimulus for small businesses, because we, small business owners, are the most likely people to hire from the community, and we can make one of the largest impacts. And that's all part of economic development. Economic development is giving you the opportunity to develop economically, which is financially, and improve your quality of life. Now, another example of non-economic development. Your community is receiving federal money. There's stimulus money coming. There is HUD money coming, already designated HUD money. Stimulus money coming, but only a hand-picked group of individuals seem to be profiting and receiving benefits. Another example of non-economic development policy. Employment, individuals are receiving benefits. There's employment for others. People are starting businesses. I can't tell you how many businesses have started since I started the real estate agency called DWS BVHP. We started our agency so that we could help people understand the process of gentrification and how to fight it. Now, we know new people are coming, but the people that are there should not be forced to leave. But now, how are they going to afford to stay there with no economic development? You have to pay mortgage. Mortgage is paid by money. Money comes from earning an income. An income comes from a job. You see what I mean? It is so simple. 2 + 2 + 2. But yet and still, we end up with 9. So, it's amazing. I must laugh, because if I didn't laugh, I'd have to start praying right now. It is so ironic. And I tell you, I pray regularly throughout the day for myself and for all of you. Back to these hand-picked groups of individuals who are receiving benefits, employment, or growing their own business, and there's nothing for you. How can this be? You know why there's nothing for you? If you are experiencing right now today, and this era of change and hope, if you're experiencing helplessness, that is because you have to find out what you can do to make a difference, starting in your own lives. Millions of dollars are coming to your community, but rather than operate for the community good, this same group of hand-picked people, in some cases, much to my dismay, sometimes it's hand-picked Negroes. They look like me, but they are Negroes. And they benefit. And maybe you were left out because you didn't kiss the right bottom.